All right, let's dive in and crack a code that can drive any car owner a little crazy, the P0705 error. If you've ever had your check engine light pop on and then seen this code, you know that feeling of what on earth does that mean? Well, stick around, because by the end of this, you're not just going to understand what your car is trying to say, you'll know exactly what's likely going on and how to start tackling the fix. You know the moment. You're just driving, minding your own business, and bam, there it is, that little glowing check engine light on your dash. It's frustrating for sure, but that light, that's just a symptom. The real story starts when a scanner gets plugged in and spits out a code. And today, the code we're investigating is P0705. So let's start by decoding this thing. A trouble code like P0705 isn't just a random set of numbers and letters. Nope, it's a very specific message from your car's brain, telling you exactly where to look for a problem.
Okay, so the official name is a mouthful, transmission range sensor circuit malfunction. But let's break that down. All it really means is that your car's main computer is getting mixed signals. It's totally confused about which gear you've actually selected. And that's where the PRNDL part comes in. It's that input from park, reverse, neutral, drive, and low that's all messed up. The computer just doesn't know for sure which gear you're in.
Yep, park, reverse, neutral, drive, and low. The error is somewhere in the system that's supposed to be tracking those very basic, very important gear positions. So at the very center of this whole mystery is one critical part, the transmission range sensor. Let's take a closer look at what this little guy's job is, because it's a big one. You know, the best way to think about this sensor is as a simple translator. When you move your gear shifter, you're making a physical movement, right? Well, the sensor's only job is to translate that physical command into an electrical signal that the car's computer can actually understand. It's the messenger. The whole communication chain is pretty simple. 1, you pick a gear. 2, the sensor zaps out a specific electrical signal for that gear. 3, the computer gets the signal and does what it's told. The P0705 code pops up when that communication breaks down. Just imagine this. You're cruising down the road at 40 miles an hour, but the sensor is screaming to the computer, "We're in park, we're in park." The computer knows that's impossible, so it throws up a red flag, and that's our error code. And just to make things a little more interesting, mechanics and car makers can't seem to agree on one name for this part. You might hear it called a neutral safety switch, a gear position sensor, or any of these other names. But don't let that fool you. They're all talking about the same component doing that same crucial translation job. Okay, so that check engine light is the big obvious sign. But your car is probably giving you a whole bunch of other clues that point straight to a P0705 problem. These are the things you can actually see and feel while you're driving. You might look down and see the gear indicator on your dashboard is just gone. Or it's blinking, or just plain wrong. Or maybe your car won't start in park, but it fires right up in neutral. That's because this sensor also doubles as a safety switch. Shifting could feel really clunky and harsh, or the car might even throw itself into limp mode, where it gets stuck in second or third gear just to protect itself. And think about this. If the computer doesn't know you've shifted it into reverse, it has no idea it's supposed to turn on your reverse lights. It all starts to make sense. All right, so we know what it looks and feels like. Now let's put on our detective hats and figure out why it's happening. What's actually causing the sensor to send out bad information? Now here's the good news. Really, this is the best part. This error code almost never means your transmission is about to explode. The problem is usually electrical, or it's just about the physical alignment of the parts. And that is key, because it often means the fix is way cheaper and easier than you might be fearing. So who are the usual suspects? Well, number 1, the top of the list is almost always the sensor itself. It just wears out. It's a moving part, and over time, it can fail. After that, we're looking at the wiring. Maybe a wire got frayed or a connector is all corroded. Sometimes it's as simple as the shift cable being a little out of adjustment, and, water can get into places it shouldn't. The least likely cause? The actual computer, the transmission control module. It happens, but it's pretty rare. So, knowing all that, how does a pro actually solve this P0705 puzzle? Well, it's not guesswork. There's a logical, step-by-step process that starts with the easy stuff first. A good mechanic is going to start with their eyes. They'll do a visual inspection of the sensor, the connector, and all the wiring around it, looking for anything that's obviously broken, burnt, or corroded. Next, they'll check the shift linkage adjustment. Is everything lined up right? If that all looks okay, then the tools come out. A multimeter can test the electrical signals coming from the sensor, and a high-end scan tool can show them exactly what the computer is seeing in real time.
So after all that digging and diagnosing, what's the verdict usually? In the vast, vast majority of these cases, the fix is refreshingly simple. Just replace the faulty transmission range sensor. It's hands down the most common solution.
So, the next time that check engine light comes on and you hear the code P0705, you won't be in the dark anymore. You'll know what's happening. It's a communication breakdown. And the question isn't just, what's wrong with my car? It's, okay, is it the sensor, the wiring, or the adjustment? And now you know exactly where to start looking.